Welcome back. The Sandwatch project presents students, teachers, and local communities with an opportunity to work together to monitor coastal environments, identify and evaluate the threats, problems, and conflicts facing them, and to develop sustainable approaches to address climate variations. LaVey Spooner has the details in this report.
On Wednesday, 17th July, the St. Lucia National Commission for UNESCO, in conjunction with the ASP.NET Schools and the Curriculum and Materials Development Unit, CAMDU, in the Department of Education, hosted an opening ceremony for the UNESCO's Sandwatch project. The Secretary General for the St. Lucia National Commission for UNESCO, Marcia Symphorian, detailed the significance and rationale behind the launching of the three-day workshop.
This initiative, which has been funded under the UNESCO Participation Program, for the biennium 2018-2019, seeks to introduce and sensitize teachers, ASP.NET coordinators, students and youth from various communities across St. Lucia on this UNESCO flagship project, which has as its main objectives the reduction of levels of pollution in the Caribbean Sea. More specifically, the project will seek to provide water testing kits and training manuals to all schools in St. Lucia, provide training in scientific observation of beaches through field measurements and data analysis, and assist communities to use the data collected to better manage beaches within their communities.
Symphorian stated that the ultimate expected outcome of the activity is to realize the full integration of the Sandwich Education Initiative in all schools island-wide. She added that educational initiatives such as this one can be employed by the island's government to respond to the effects of climate change. The Acting Director of Innovation in the Ministry of Education used the opportunity to wish the students well as they seek to develop sustainable approaches to addressing the issues impacting the island's coastal environment.
So it brings chills up my spine that I stand here today to welcome you, to wish you well on such an occasion where we are going to be embarking collectively on an effort to study our coastal region, to give insight and to effect change. On behalf of the department which I serve, we are hopeful that this training exercise for students and the teachers as well as stakeholders will facilitate something ingenious in schools. We are hoping that by virtue of this venture, that the possibilities of sharing information and using them in creative ways will become an opportunity for change.
Through the Sandwich project, students will learn how they can contribute to building ecosystem resilience and adapting to climate change. The project has been successfully launched in countries such as Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Turks and Caicos, Florida, England, Portugal, and India, to name a few. For Hot 7 News, I am LaVey Spooner reporting.
A visit by the President of Taiwan, Tsai Ing-wen, has presented itself as the opportune time to launch Phase 2 of the GI Wi-Fi project on Thursday, July 18th. The event was held at Constitution Park in Castries in the presence of delegates from both Taiwan and St. Lucia.
The launch of Phase 2 of the GI Net Wi-Fi solidified the bond between St. Lucia and Taiwan as foreign allies. Constitution Park played host to a contingent of parliamentarians, diplomats, as well as local and foreign media, as the President of the Republic of China Taiwan, Her Excellency Tsai Ing-wen, delivered her approval on the proceedings for the advancement of information and technology through the assistance by the people of Taiwan to St. Lucia.
Digital age network infrastructure is key to economic development, competitive strength in the global market, and improved quality of life. Taiwan and St. Lucia have been working together since 2015 on the first phase of the government island-wide network, or GNet. During this phase, we installed 63 public Wi-Fi hotspots in 33 locations across 5 quarters. This project is not only helping travelers connect more easily, it is also helping bridge St. Lucia's urban-rural digital divide and connecting St. Lucians with the rest of the world.
Ing Weng says the opportunity to turn digital devices into digital opportunities is one the nation of Taiwan has capitalized on to strengthen foreign ties. Likewise, Prime Minister Alan Shasney touted the brilliance of GINet for its far-reaching capabilities into rural areas on island.
In an age where information technology has captivated the entire world and completely changed the way we communicate, the government island-wide network GINet project has created a huge buzz of excitement among the people of St. Lucia. It has the potential to enhance the internet penetration rate on the island by giving to our people, particularly the youth, the opportunity for free Wi-Fi access. It is especially significant because it also brings technology to the people of the rural areas who for years have complained about being left out of certain aspects of national development being enjoyed in the urban centers. GINet bridges that divide and ensures that all our people will now be on equal footing as far as internet accessibility is concerned.
The release of balloons signified the official launch of Phase 2 of GINet Wi-Fi. Each Wi-Fi device is expected to provide coverage to approximately 50 users at any one point in time. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
A few stakeholders involved in making Carnival 2019 met to discuss whether or not the traffic that arose as a result of the event could have been eliminated. In the end, they all agreed that maybe Castries is no longer a viable route option. Here are the details in this report.
Members of staff from both Event St. Lucia and the Cultural Development Foundation fielded questions from the media during a press briefing held on Wednesday, 17th July. Two of the concerns brought up was the heavy traffic flow during Monday and Tuesday's parade of the bands and the difficulties faced as a result of the new carnival route. Chairman of the Cultural Development Foundation, Daniel Belize, explained that the route was changed at the behest of the Carnival Bands Association.
Went and walked the route itself, observed the logistics, and essentially agreed to the change for not only the route, but where the stage would have been set up. My disappointment is the fact that we had a logistic nightmare with a broken down crane that came along the route, a very important part of the route. And both the chairperson of ECSL and myself worked tirelessly, spent hours with the operators of said equipment to see how possible it would have been to just have it removed.
Belize says that the ill-placed defunct crane caused most of the traffic congestion experienced. He continued by stating that lack of cooperation from the bands was yet another hurdle that could have been avoided.
On the Monday, you would have noticed that some of the bands came down a little late and exited Castries late, and then, of course, the music was shut off at 7 o'clock. But you would have noticed also that on Tuesday, with their cooperation, even with a later start, that the bands were able to exit Castries at a very reasonable hour. And they were able to enjoy some of the jump up back up to the Mega J. Still had some issues in terms of shutting down the music, but I think it worked a little better.
The chairperson for Event St. Lucia concluded by stating that the Castries circuit may now be too small to facilitate the growth of Carnival.
In terms of the biggest takeaway is the city center may not be the best place to host Carnival. And it is just too small, and because the perimeter is so narrow, it is difficult for us to continue to keep the event there and have a good quality experience.
Belize maintains that Carnival 2019 was a success in spite of the hurdles experienced. He believes that the cultural event will continue to grow in pomp and stature. For Hot 7 News, I am Love Spooner reporting.
The Chamber of Commerce got a first-hand look at an innovative product created by the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council designed to measure productivity within their business. More in this report from Glenn Simon.
ProTool, Measuring Productivity and Building Efficiency in Business, was the title of a presentation made to the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce by the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council during the Chamber's quarterly event called HR Connect. Executive Director of the NCPC, Fiona Hinkson, explained that businesses are required to measure their performance, particularly their productivity. This is in an effort to sustain efficient operations, ensure proper allocation and time management, identify weak areas, provide timely feedback, track progress, which can lead to profitability of the business.
The NCPC was very excited today to present to the Chamber of Commerce the membership about the Pro Tool. It is an interactive software that the NCPC has been working on. The Pro Tool basically helps firms measure the level of productivity, assess the qualitative aspects of the business in terms of business processes, innovation, leadership and management, and so on, and also give them right away recommendations on the areas that they can improve.
The NCPC laments the insufficiency of data on business productivity in St. Lucia, attributed mainly to the inability of small and micro businesses to measure their level of productivity, which the Pro Tool is designed to capture.
This tool will be able to measure not only productivity of labor, it can measure productivity of capital, productivity of raw materials, energy productivity, any type of input that the firm uses in the production, the tool will be able to give a specific measure of it.
Executive Director of the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, Brian Luisi, said the Chamber is keen on working with its members to improve the productivity of their workers and operations to ensure they remain competitive and profitable.
We thought that the work of the NCPC in developing the Pro Tool needed to be shared with members, and members should be given the opportunity to learn more about the Pro Tool and actually use it. So we think the Pro Tool gives members an opportunity to measure their performance, measure the level of productivity, identify gaps and identify opportunity for enhancement and improvement. And so we thought bringing members together for the presentation, explanation, and exposition on the Pro Tool would be a very useful exercise.
Chairman of the NCPC, Jared Bagast, noted that the presentation demonstrates very clearly that the NCPC is out there in the market seeking to improve the lot for businesses in St. Lucia and the nation as a whole.
We don't compete only in St. Lucia, we compete globally. And if we are not trying to be more productive and getting more out of less, if we are not continually trying to do that, then we're actually moving backwards.
The St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce plans to work closely with the NCPC to promote the use of the Pro Tool among its members and the wider business community. The presentation was held on July 10th at Coco Palm Hotel's conference room. For the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, Glenn Simon reporting.
It's now time for the sports news with Tennis in Glasgow.